important. But what was cool about Doug Brignoli was that he was a guy putting it forward. Like, he was a guy that was actually doing it, was actually competing in bodybuilding.
And so like I got his like actual training split, and that's when I started making even more progress. That's when you recognize, like, dude, what's up with your legs? Like, something's going on here. And it's an awesome 3-day split. So 3 days on, 1 day off, and back on to 3 days. And it's like, he knew what the fuck he was talking about, is what I'm getting at.
If anything, the good thing is that we bring on so many different people with so many different thought processes. And one thing that I'm happy about in terms of this group of people is that we are open, right? We're not married to specific ideas in terms of training, because we understand that there's a lot of ways to do this, right? So when Doug came in, when we tried some of his stuff, it felt great. It was pretty cool. There's minimal stress to a lot of joints, and you can even see a lot of people that do some of his stuff. A lot of them are older, and they're still in the gym in their 60s.
He was in his 60s, yeah.
He was in his 60s, and a lot of them are in their 70s, and they're still able to train, and they're able to train without pain. So no matter what you may think, right, it is a good idea to explore some of the ideas that he had. And in his book, he has it all. I have his book, right? And it'll allow you to just see how certain things feel for yourself. Because, I mean, there are some people that do things based off of mechanics, and then there are some people that have an ability to feel certain things and can say intuitively, this angle feels way better on this muscle than this one.
Dre. Great example. He's just like tossing around some kettlebells.
Yeah.
Where'd you learn that from? I don't know. Like, just been watching some people, and like he's been making some of his own shit up, right? He's been doing it.
Yeah.
So there's people that have kind of these different talents, but it's like, does someone like Dre, does he have a understanding of biomechanics? I would say, yeah, he does, but it's in a different way. He might not know some of the text. I mean, I have no idea whether he knows it or not, but he doesn't, maybe doesn't know it the same way. Doesn't know the exact like words or whatever, but he could feel it.
And then he can communicate that to somebody so they can feel it also.
Right. And he can show and demonstrate too. And I think all these tasks are really important. But what was cool about Doug Brignoli was that he was a guy putting it forward. Like, he was a guy that was actually doing it, was actually competing in bodybuilding. He was actually really successful. He was actually like, there's a lot of bodybuilders that do well and they go into competitions and you're like, that's cool. Like, the guy did great. Doug Brignoli would get shredded. I mean, he would get completely shredded. And that tells you something about somebody. Like, that's a very specific mentality to go that deep in. Like, you can go in and get in shape, and we've seen a lot of guys and girls do a lot of great things, a lot of great body transformations. But everybody that has ever done a bodybuilding show knows what it takes to get that last little bit of detail in there, and he left no stone unturned when it came to that.
Look at this handsome man, man.
Yeah.
Doug looked good.
I don't know the exact date on like this shoot or whatever, but it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, like the one thing when he was here, it was so funny, like just typical bodybuilder, bro. He like we finished the day of recording, and whoop, there goes his pants, and I'm like, oh,
yep.
Okay. and it was so good because he's like, man, I'm able to get shredded. I'm able to develop a lot of muscle. He's like, but the one thing that age will get you on, he's like, look at this. And he's showing like kind of like loose skin on his legs. He's like, no matter what I do, he's like, that's always going to be there now. He's like, that's the motherfucker of getting old.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, sleep is essential for your recovery and your performance, which is why we partner with 8 Sleep mattresses. We call them the Tesla of beds. Changes the temperature based off how you sleep. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, head over to 8sleep.com/powerproject, and at checkout, you guys will automatically save $150 off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. And I'm like, dude, you still look fucking incredible.
Yeah, remember that video that I made with him where I'm hanging off the chin-up bar, and he's like, this exercise is stupid.
Yeah. I think you just reposted it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll have to find it.
It's it's that kind of stuff that like I think people appreciate. Like, I think that's why it was so well received. I've been on the internet forever, and I think that that's like one of the most viewed posts that I've ever had was just
look, that's me.
Me doing a fucking stomach exercise with him and him telling me that it was dumb.
Yeah, and then he like started coming up with it's not a video, but it's like a sissy squat / pendulum squat thing. And I tried it, man. It's pretty hard, but it was a little bit difficult for me to get in and out of. So I've just been doing regular sissy squats. But going back to don't reinvent the wheel, da 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 da. I don't know, man. Like, if it worked, what if it works better? Like, what if you get a wheel that fucking just smokes the other one? Like, but because you're so stuck in your old ways, you're not even going to try it. Like, what if you passed on like an amazing exercise?
This is where knowledge comes from. Knowledge comes from, you know, people giving other ideas and people implementing other things, and then, like, you know, kind of picking off the things that you feel don't work well and moving along. And then sometimes those things that you didn't think worked well, they sometimes cycle their way right back into stuff. I was listening to Rick Rubin on Joe Rogan. Look at his back.
This is a recent shoot, by the way.
That's a recent shoot?
This is a recent shoot, yeah.
60, he was 62, I think, when he passed, right?
Yo.
That's just, okay, these ones actually are kind of old.
I was going to say, like...
Yeah, no, sorry. I remember this one from a while
back. Did he just gain hella size or some shit?
No, sorry, my bad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No, I thought, because I was trying to get him to, like, shave his head, so I thought that's why it was recent. My bad.
Yeah, I was listening to Rick Rubin on Joe Rogan, and he was just talking about, you know, how he just kind of always viewed things a little differently. He's always seen things a little differently. And sometimes there's people that come along that just see things differently. And I think it's great to have people like Doug Brignoli, to have people throw in some different stuff, because, like, this, it's not healthy for us to have just the same old shit around and to just kind of not make any progress. And so you sometimes need stuff to be different. And the movements and some of the stuff that he was bringing up was different. It wasn't so crazy different, though. It wasn't like, it was still lifting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was still lifting and still lifting exercises, which is kind of funny because we tend to be so nitpicky about some of these movements. I remember asking Matt Wenning, who was here recently, and he was talking about doing different exercises, and he was talking about doing the Cadillac bar when he came in and bench press. And I was trying to get from him, hey, would you ever come in the gym and, like, do something totally different? He's like, yeah, I would use a different bar, or I would bench a different way. And I'm like, thinking, no, like, just, would you come in the gym and just, like, fucking huck around a medicine ball for the day? Or would you do sprints on the turf? Or would you bear crawl? Or, like, that's where my mind was. But a lot of times we're so tunnel vision in what we're doing that we can't think outside. And to point out, I mean, just time and time and time again, it will always show you that these people that think differently are pioneers, and they end up adding so much value. You think of Danaher, what he's done in jiu-jitsu. He came through and just, it changed everything. Look at Dana White, you know, what is this barbaric bullshit fighting stuff? You can't.
Hey, baby. I'm joking. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord, all right? I know you enjoyed the video. Speak to y'all soon.